Yeah, so my leadership experiences within spaces like PBHA, Indigo Peer Counseling, the Pre-Med Society, Black Rose Vote, you name it. They really all taught me about relationship building. I think 5 years from now, what I'll remember from all those experiences is the relationships that I was able to build. When things get rough, relationships are what are going to keep you there. Like you will stay there simply because of the relationships that you've built and knowing that those people are still there for you, that they care for you, and really just thinking about the relationships that you're able to build with your peers, with staff, and also with the people that you serve. That's really where you get the humanity of the work that you're doing. And that's where the importance of the work is. In terms of being a woman of color in this work, I'm not gonna lie, and also as a Black woman within this work, it has been hard to show up as my full self, because oftentimes you feel like maybe I don't deserve to be here in the same way that my peers do. Let me tell you, yes, you do. Like there is nothing that your peers have over you that you do not have. You are capable, you are deserving to be there, and you should also be unapologetically you. Show up as a woman of color, show up as a Black woman, um, invite people in. Yeah. So it took time for me to get over that hump, but I think with time, but also with the encouragement and reassurance of other women around me, um, I was able to do it. I think that a challenge that I faced is just the idea of invisibility or just being invisible. It's something that I felt and that I know that so many other people have felt throughout the years at Harvard. You can be as visible as the vice president of PBHA, but still somehow feel invisible. For me, it was really important to speak up about it and also to seek support in my circles and again, the women around me who are supporting me. Another challenge that I've come upon and I'm still trying to figure out is being a member of the greater Boston community, but also the Harvard community, just being both of those things and caring deeply, about campus life and Harvard and, you know, just all those things, but also caring even more deeply about my own community and the issues going on there and not seeing students who cared that much about that, not seeing students that had the same zeal about what was going on in the greater Boston community, even though we benefit greatly from going to the school that is set within that community. What memories bring me the most joy? There's so many. um, Actually, I'm just gonna say a whole bunch. So first, I think I'd say my work with the Nigerian Students Association, not even my work, just like being there as, a person. Um, I think that the Nigerian Students Association has a really tight-knit community. Every year we have gala, which celebrates Nigerian Independence Day. And it's kind of an opportunity for all of us to kind of come out and act like uncles and aunties, like spray money and just kind of imitate our parents. So that brings me a lot of joy just thinking about that, because it's almost like me acting like what I said I would never be, but here I am acting like an auntie. Another moment of joy is riding around well, before the pandemic, riding around in the PBHA vans. I can't drive, but other people drive. Riding around in the PBHA vans, singing like Suavemente and all these different songs. Of course, being safe, but that was always fun because people in the square would like wave at us, honk at us because we clearly were having so much fun. That was just amazing. And another joyous memory was from my work in Key Latch After School, which is a PDHA program, connecting with the students in the South End, which is where I went to school when I was little. And talking to them and being like, oh my God, like your dad went to this school? That's like the rival school of mine. And hearing the things that they're passionate about, because sometimes I'm like, wow, like maybe this is how my teachers felt when they were talking to me when I was little, and just seeing all that passion that they have, and just how smart, how wise these students are. Yeah, I say that those things are what bring me joy. So in terms of the work that or the systems that my work challenges, I think that a lot of the work that I do in PBHA challenges different many different systems. But I would say that my work mostly challenges things like educational inequity, voter suppression, and medical racism. In terms of educational inequity, you might not know, but in Boston, in terms of like Boston public school system, it's a really unfair system, and there are a lot of steps and holes that you have to know about to be successful within that system. I was fortunate to have known and be told about all of these different loopholes, but a lot of students aren't. So my work is really about plugging those students into these things, such as advanced word class, the exam schools, the ISEE test, and making sure that these students and their families are well informed and prepared to face those challenges. Secondly, voter suppression. In terms of that work, I work with Black Rose Vote to ensure that people understand the changing voter rules, especially things like vote by mail, which we saw made a big difference in this past election, and fighting to allow people to access their right to vote. In terms of medical racism, reproductive justice for women of color is something that I really care about, especially for pregnant individuals with substance use disorders who are often targeted by the carceral state, along with women affected by maternal mortality. I get it. We're all at Harvard and we all have individual futures, but we really need to work together. It's so important that we work together and build coalitions. We can't just fight for our own fights alone. For example, I can't just care about things affecting Black women. I should care about things beyond that. I should care about things affecting all Black people. I should care about things affecting other races. I should care about things that are beyond race. And also show up for those things. I also urge students to be genuine about the work that they do and go beyond academia in a way that benefits someone more than yourself. You'll get far with academia, but on whose backs are you getting far on? Connect with real people in the greater Boston area to really understand or share those concepts that you're learning about in class. Everything you're learning manifests in the community. Why don't you actually just go there and find out about it? Find out about those lived experiences, or if it's not something that's related to the humanities, go and teach about it. Share the knowledge, share the access to the information that you have. We also need more people leading as they are and authentically being themselves. From my observations, that's when the most change happens. So I challenge you to be yourself as a leader. That's pretty hard at a place like Harvard, where respectability politics governs all aspects of one's visibility. But I promise you, you are most powerful as yourself.